I'm pleased to say we're joined by one of the debutantes in this year's PDC World Championship, Rashad Sweeting, all the way from the Bahamas. Thanks for the time, Rashad. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, buddy.
Well, we're talking a little over a week now before you make your debut at Alexandra Palace in the biggest tournament in darts, making some history as well for the Bahamas. How are you feeling as we edge closer to your first round game?
I feel awesome. I feel great. This is the best feeling ever. I mean, there are some great feelings up there. Of course, my kids, and all that. But this is one of the goals and dreams that I've been dreaming from since I came into darts. So this is the greatest feeling ever.
Well, it is Jeffrey de Graaf up first for you, and there's a big carrot dangling in front of both of you with the winner to play one of the all-time greats in Gary Anderson in the second round. What was your reaction, though, when you saw the draw?
It wasn't to be... I have a saying. I don't want to seem like any interview that I do this on, I always say this. I don't want it to seem like I'm cocky. It's just I'm confident. I'm not stating that I'm going to beat anybody. I'm just stating that anybody, they're human. Anything is possible to happen. And I don't have no... the draw was great. I didn't care what happened or who I played against. I'm just excited to be here, and I'm glad that they accepted me. That's all it is.
Well, we'll come back to the World Championships later, but let's just go back to when you secured that spot at Ali Pali. It was via the Championship Darts Latin America and Caribbean Order of Merit. What have the last few months been like? Are you still on a high?
Yeah, I was this little bit disappointed when I did those because I was concerned about my average. Even though they stated that I topped the average of the whole tournament, I still wasn't. I weren't impressed about it. I stayed at home and I put in more work hours. It's hard to do a lot of times because I'm an officer. I work in the immigration department in my country. I'm an officer, so being in law enforcement, you don't have much time, but and it doesn't matter to them if I made the World Cup or not, or history in my country. Darts isn't as big as it is in England or the US or any other country. Darts is like any other sport, in this country, so they don't really recognize it. So my time was I just put in a lot more hours than I did, and I saw great improvement. So I'm very excited about my first game.
Good to hear. Well, we'll come back to the CDLC and obviously your work as well later, but let's go right back to the start for you in darts. Being from the Bahamas, when and how did you first get introduced to darts?
That's a good question. I've been waiting to tell this to everybody in the world. I've been in darts for 14 years. 14 or 15. I started in 2009. To be honest with you, I'm a natural athlete, so I can catch on any sport that I don't know and I get involved in. I'll play it and I'll catch on to it in 2 days. I can understand it. The thing is, darts, I never looked at darts as a sport. I mean, as a sport for me, I volleyball, basketball, football. I'm more physical. I play these things on a daily basis. When I go after work, I would go in the park and play. So when I saw there's a gentleman, Rashad Sweeting, I was a mentor and a cousin of mine. He got me into darts. He was trying to introduce me to it. I was like, nah, the sport seems boring. I'm not going to stand up all day and throw no missiles at the board, and he challenged me because I love challenges. So when you tell me I can't do anything, I'm going to do my best and work hard to do it. He played me and he used to beat me and laugh at me, and I don't like that. So when he laughed at me, I just kept practicing and going by his home and interrupting his family breakfast early in the morning, just to compete against him. And eventually I got really good and he invited me into the league to a team. Which called we have a seasonal league over here that we play, Backyard Destroys, where I played with some veteran players, and it started there, and I just blew up from there, had some achievements first, before I was watching darts, watching Phil and all that, before he retired, and Gary, that's so awesome, you're going to see these guys, that's just crazy. I watched these guys and I said, before I get there, I'm going to try to do some achievements in my country because I wasn't the number one. I just came. There were some other players and I wanted to pass their achievements and all that, And when I got to that stage, I went to the CDLC. That's when I cried because I made history and I made it there. That's the first payment. So being on that stage, it's just great. But to answer it, it's that's how it started, from right there.
Well, you called yourself an athlete then. You said that you've done some other sports in the past. How far have you got in those sports, or is darts the first one where you've really made it onto that world platform?
Another good question. So what I do is I love to teach a sport over here, and I don't charge. I just, when you know and you love doing something, you don't put a price on it. You know, if they want to give you something, then they give you it. I do the same thing with darts over here, and any other sport. Any young youth wants to learn how to do it like me, I would give them advice on it. But I also give them this great advice, that try other sports. Be open to learn other sports. Don't stick with that same sport. Now, to answer your question, I said that because I was playing basketball and volleyball, and I always believed that I wanted to be a basketball, an NBA player, or a national volleyball player. And I tried for the national team, and it didn't work out. And the basketball national team, it didn't work out either. So I just played basketball and baseball. I never tried for the national baseball, but when I got involved in darts and realized my accomplishments, I stuck with it and was just playing the other sports on the side, but was being careful because, you know, I'm right-handed. I didn't want to damage my hand. You know, you have some players out there who really wild at sports could damage you. So I saw darts, and I put actually volleyball, basketball is one of my top sports. Darts just surpassed them by accolades. You know, I said, well, this is my number one sport now. I'm playing darts, and I'm going to stick with it. And I started buying equipment and getting all into it, dissecting the game, understanding the throw stance, you know, form, technique, and everything. I tried almost everything in the world. I mean, almost everything. There are some things I haven't seen in darts yet, you know, so I haven't tried it. But almost everything just to get to that game, that level, to that stage. So I'm here. That's what made me to be here. But darts has done it all for me, so it's my number one spot at the top of my list.
Yeah, darts is your number one sport, and you touched on it earlier. You work as an immigration officer, so what is it like juggling work with playing darts? Have you been able to have a good balance?
Yeah, it's a good balance. Like, I have shifts in my country. Right now, it's 10 a.m. Like, I would have shifts from Monday. I work from Monday to Friday, and my shifts would be, morning would be, I have to be to work for 6 in the morning, get off 12. That's a good hour, because when I get home, I can always practice long hours. But then it's an afternoon shift. That's 12 to 8 in the night. And when I get home at 8, you know, you'll be tired. You know, I don't care. When I'm tired, my eyes are falling asleep. I'm still putting in the work. I'm still doing it because I have endurance. I do a lot of sports, so I have endurance built in. So even though I was fighting sleep. I was throwing darts at the board. You know, my wife's telling me, like, yo, come to bed. And I'm like, nah. I got to put in this work. This is bigger than me. It's not only for me, it's for the country, so they can understand that this sport is really, it could be really something big in the country, you know. So yeah.
And we've already seen you represent the Bahamas as well. Last year, the WDF World Cup, you made the trip over to Denmark to play in that event. What was that experience like for you?
That was my first, to be honest with you, I've never traveled outside of my country. Like, the Bahamas are made up of 700 islands. Traveling to the islands is nothing, but traveling outside, that was my first trip outside of the country. Being in another foreign land is just exciting on itself, you know. I was just appeased by the culture that they had there. It's just like, it's somewhat the same as England, so I'm seeing all those players. I even get to see I was shooting back to back with what's his name? I forget his name. He's from the same area Michael Van Geur is from. He played in the PDC. Kelsian. Yes, Kelsian. He was at the tournament also. And I was practicing on a board by myself, and he came there. And I wanted to be I kept looking at him, right? His back was turned, so he would know it. I'm like, wow, this how dart players look, bro. He's tall. Dart players are very tall. And every time he turned around, I turned around like I was not paying attention to him. It was a great experience to see all those players. We got to Japan. We played a lot of countries. It was good. The average, the game itself, the atmosphere, they're very friendly. The dart community is very friendly, man. So I'm going to be here for a long time until my body tells me, nah, not today. You know, you can't do this no more.
Good times. Well, let's get on to this year then, and it was the second year that we've seen the CDLC tour, and I heard in one of your interviews you said you were second guessing yourself about going, but some other people persuaded you to go. So what was holding you back from going to begin with?
To be honest, it was two things. One of the main reasons was I felt that I wasn't there yet because I've never been to this. This seemed to me it was a big tournament, and it is extreme. There are a lot of talents in that tournament from a lot of Caribbean countries. They're very awesome. But I was doubting my average and my grip and stuff. I didn't quite have everything down pat. You know, because I wasn't putting in time now like I'm doing now. Like the hours I was just coming home, and I have a game, I have a console, so I didn't take it the practice serious for that because I wasn't planning on going, mainly to finances. It wasn't, there was support from the dart community. They helped it a lot. But there was, when I looked for the country to assist, they didn't say it's not an Olympic sport, so they were not trying to sponsor me. So that discouraged me, trying to come up with the funds for everything. But the dart community over here assisted me very much. We had some friends that did it. And of course, my average, I wasn't okay with the average. That's why I told you at the tournament, even though I won, I still was disappointed. Even though he stated that my average was the highest, I looked at it, it was only 70. And it's one game that you did 90 and one game that you might have hit 100 peak, but overall, best of the six, or first of six, first of three, first of five, you only did a 70 average consistently. And I wasn't impressed with it.
Well, the CDLC only started last year. Did you follow any of it last year online, the scores, look into it before you made that debut in Jamaica in July to see what the level was like?
No, sir, I didn't. I solely made, like I told you, I solely made it my mission to focus on my dart game. Even if I have chores doing things to do in my country, my woman, she does it all for me. She does all the interview and all that. Filling out the application, because I was just sticking to showing darts every day I get home. So I didn't get time to look at anything, any videos. I just want to stay zoned in and locked into honing my skill.
Well, what a debut it was on the CDLC this year. You won the first event of the season in Jamaica, the final against Guillermo Soto, all 11 legs going with throw. There was a bit of everything in that final, a 32 dart leg in there, but some real quality as well, a 14 and a 15 darter to win it 6-5. What did that title mean to you?
To me, I'll be honest, I don't want to seem like it's not, it's a big thing. I didn't feel, to me, it didn't feel like a big thing because this is my first time and what, I really do be in the zone. Like when I'm playing darts, there is a zone and you would think that I'm being rude. If you speak to me, it would seem like I'm ignoring you, but I'm not. I'm just focused. I have a mission and I'm focused on the mission, so I'd say hi and bye. But then winning that tournament was the same thing. I was just focused. The reason when I actually broke down in tears is when I went to my apartment, because when it happened, I was excited that I won, but didn't really. I heard them speaking about the first and accomplishment and all that, but yet it didn't get to me because I was just saying that I know I was going to win. And my mind said, I know I was going to win this. I told you I was going to win this, but I wasn't like, whoa, I just won the CDLC until I went to my apartment. I was like, babe, I just realized what I did. It's like, what you talking about? I just won a big tournament, my first ever tournament, like big tournament. She's like, yeah, you just realized that? I was zoned out. And I just made history for the Bahamas. It's like, what happened to you? And I thought, I'm sorry. That's how it is. So my zone is crazy. I just stay focused on the mission. But it was awesome. Winning that, I maybe broke down in tears because I knew now where I'm heading. And be honest with you, I'm sorry that I didn't start off with it. But God has got me through everything. It's because of God that I'm here, and I prayed for it. And God, the reason being is because God probably stated that I wasn't ready yet to be here, and the time was ready. It was now that He said, "Well, Rashad, you're on that level. I'm going to let you go there and see and test this level versus pro players, the best pro players, the best top players in the world." That's why I'm excited, because this is my time, and I know that's what God is saying to me.
Yeah, it's a special moment to win that title on your debut. You made the semi-finals of the second event. Going on to the second weekend, though, another title, you make another final of the second event. At what point did you find out that you had done enough and you'd secured that top spot and Ali Pali?
There was somebody who was watching me. She was a part of the tournament, Sally. She's from the U.S. She was a part of the tournament, organizing it. And she kept, because again, I was not focused. The tournament was like, we are not going to be babysitting anybody, no players. You got to download the app and look in your tablet and know when your game. If you don't, and you don't go to the board, and you forfeit, So I'm like, yeah, my zone is crazy. So I'm like, okay, I glad I brought my girl with me so she could stay focused on these stuff. But Sally, she was like appeased by my game. She kept watching me and kept, she's like, I'm rooting for you, Rashad. No, she kept telling me, you're up. She kept telling me, and you're good. And she spilled it. She's like, whether or not he wins or loses, he has more points than everybody, so he's in. you're in, Rashad. And I'm like, everybody just keep coming, congratulations. I'm like, what they tell me congratulations? Oh, I haven't even played the finals yet. The finals didn't even start yet, you know? So I was like,
I mentioned, we touched on it earlier, you are the first player from the Bahamas that's going to play at Ali Pali, the biggest darts tournament in the world. How special is that, and what's the reaction been like back home since you qualified?
I can't speak for the country itself. I mean, only the dart community. The dart community has been there. They have been congratulating me, and of course, I'm just going to go and say it. You know, of course, there are going to be some people that, you know, because coming from a country that hasn't been there in darts to that stage yet, you're going to have some negativity of people that state that, well, you probably not go past the first, or you might not go past. Even if you go past the first, you got Gary Anderson. Again, it doesn't matter. To me, they're human, they breathe. Nobody that I'm playing is going to be a machine up there. And if they are, I mean, that's just them on a good game, and I could probably do the same on my good game, you know, just as good, because I'm there. I made it there, so there's a reason why I made it there. But the dart community was supportive. Then you have your positive side and negative side, to be honest with you. I never let it get to me. I use that as fuel for my flames, you know. When you tell me, again, I love challenges, like I told you. When you tell me I can't do something, or I'm not going to do something, I'm going to show you that I can. I'm going to prove to you that I can. You know, so, yeah.
Well, you've done that by qualifying for this tournament, and one of the interviews you did recently, we saw your darts case. It's quite a big darts case. Are you going to be taking that one with you on stage, or are you going to take a smaller one with you?
I don't know. I have read the rules, but it didn't say anything about a dart case up there, and I don't want to carry too many darts because I'm throwing with a lot of darts to test the average. I also signed up, so I was trying a lot of. I'm not sure. I don't want to be confused and picking darts, but again, I catch on the sub quickly, so if I pick up any dart and I throw it, it's just a feel for me, what I'm looking for. And like I said, in this country, it doesn't have a store like England has. It doesn't have a dart community store where you could go in a lot of it and you could just buy darts, try it out before you buy it. No, over here, if they sell darts at our sports center, when we buy it, we buy it. You know, if it doesn't work, you only go and buy luck. So that's the bad thing about it. And it don't be the darts that you need. They're only buying off what they think. They don't know about darts, so they're just buying it, you know, off price, I'm assuming.
Definitely. Well, just a few more before we let you go, and we've only followed your scores on Dart Connect. We've not seen you play on a stream or on TV before, so talk to us about your current dart setup. What are you throwing with?
I'm playing with the 180s. I'm using 180 darts. I purchased some 180 darts. There was a friend of mine who also spent a lot of money on me from the US. Sally, she has spent a lot of money buying equipment and hoping that everything works for me. So I'm trying them out. A lot of 180 products. I tried to reach out to them also, but I didn't get no good response. I didn't get no response at all. I would say good, no response at all. I tried to email them, and it didn't went through. I don't know if that's the same email that's on the internet. But everything to me is going well. I'm changing my points, switching up flights, and I was trying my stuff online versus the AI board, and going online and testing it out. And I was getting some good comments. I was looking at the average; it was steady. But it's different when a player is in front of you. It's a different feeling from being by yourself and playing online than to being when a presence is there. You know, and I embrace that. You know, so whether or not I've been shooting darts, I've not been longer than a lot of players that are doing it now, but I know that my mental game is there, my focus is there. Like, you could stand by the board and score for me, and you could turn around and look at me, which is against the rules, but I won't even have a problem with it, because I'm just a cool person. I'm very cool. I'm like, once you don't put your hand on the board, I'm not trying to pay for no medical bill, bro. So you could stand and look at me, yeah, you know, but I don't care if you move around or throw keys, or you could drink your booze by the venue and by the board scoring. I don't care, you know. I just love the games. I love the game of dart and what it's done for me, and of course, what God has made it done for me. Most importantly.
Well, we put a post out on our social media channels asking for questions for you, and we've got a couple that have come in from our listeners. The first one from El Tunio, who says, are you excited, and will you be wearing that shirt? I think he means the one with the Bahamas colours that you wore during the qualifiers. He said, I think you should, it's amazing. And he also said, what's your walk-on song?
Okay, so this was crazy. I really, to be honest with you, I want to, since it was the first time making history, I didn't want to disrespect the country and not do a Bahamian song. So I did a Bahamian song, but the song that I listened to in my practice is Eminem, "Lose Yourself." Yeah, I don't know if you know that song. It's a good song.
Yeah.
You know, one chance. You know, you got that one chance, don't let it slip. And this is my one chance. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna put that on. I'm gonna let my walk-on song be a Bahamian song. It's by Naka. It's online. It's you look at it, it's on YouTube. You put in the name. It's awesome, and the shirt being there is great. Just getting there is awesome. The feeling is great. I'm excited every day that I wake up. I wake up early in the morning, 3 o'clock, but I don't even have breakfast. I wake up early in the morning, everybody's sleeping, I'm throwing darts at the board. So I can tell you that I'm really serious about it. And I warm my kettle and put on some tea, drink some tea, and I'm up there throwing, and I'm making noise in the room. So yeah, I'm gonna wear a shirt. I have a shirt design. I'm gonna wear a shirt similar to the same color. But here's what, you come to the game, let me know who you are. I'm bringing my shirt, that same shirt, and if you have a dart shirt, we'll trade shirt. How about that?
Oh, that's a great offer for him. And the next one we've got comes from Brandon, who says, is the fried conch really that good there? I'm told that alone is worth the trip, but with darts there, maybe there are 2 reasons.
It is awesome, buddy. It is awesome over here. It is awesome, bro. You're losing out. You better come before I eat a ball, bro.
Happy days. And lastly, beyond Ali Pali, what does the future hold for you in darts? Obviously, the focus is on the World Championships, but after that, what goals and targets do you have in this game?
Well, I'm here. Like I remember I told you from the start, like I didn't say anything about darts until I started getting doing accomplishment and doing some accolades, winning accolades in the sport. This is the biggest accomplishment ever for any Bahamian and me in darts. The biggest ever. My biggest stage ever. So, moving forward, I'm going to focus more on all the tournaments that they invite me to. That's going to get me there. And I'm not going to stop and tell my body, like I told you, my body says, hey, no, Rashad, you can't do this no more, buddy. Stick to something else. Let's play some cards or something,
Brilliant. Well, Rashad, it's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you. Really appreciate you taking the time, and we wish you all the best for your debut at Ali Pali and what else is to come in the rest of your darts career as well.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry that I postponed it a lot of times. It's just that the timing, and when it came to the timing in my work, the work didn't really. I know that someone called my work, but they still were like, of course, some jobs would be like, this is not a part of your job. You got to do this off our time, not on our time, So they didn't understand it. So it wasn't, But they love that they put me up on the site, so they love that I'm doing this. So I really appreciate your time and then the effort that you put into wanting to interview me. Thank you so much, buddy.